Light, do you understand your role now? You must lift the shackles that bind people's hearts and save their souls. The more souls you save, the more Aradia you can harvest. That is crucial because it means buying the world more time.
Unusual to see a traveler around these parts. This is Ruffian, the only settlement in the desert. It used to be a real town once, but most people have gone and given up on the bandit life. We're all that's left.
I've been surveying the desert all these long years. But I have been completely flummoxed by those cursed tablets.
I don't barter. You got that? Hey, what's with the sourpuss? You don't have a complaint about my fine assortment now, do you?
It's good enough, I suppose.
Go on! I don't need some uppity tourists making demands. Go somewhere else if you don't like my wares. Go on, get!
If you insist, I will. You're not the only merchant around.
That's where you're wrong, Missy. Far as I know, this is the only shop in the desert. There was one other fella, but he couldn't cut it. Lost all his drive to sell out here. When that happens, well, that's the same as death to a salesman.
So, what made him give up?
Damn fool. He bet his dreams on the desert, that's what. Poor old Ramon. He thought he'd make a real name for himself out here, selling to adventurers. But in the end, he lost sight of his dream and his business.
Sounds good for you, though he doesn't seem like he was much of a rival anyway.
Shut it! You don't know the first thing about him!
Didn't mean to offend you. What's there to get so worked up about anyway?
Nothing. Not a damn thing. It's just like you say. He was nothing at all. It's not like he'd ever been a threat to my business anyway. No, not Ramon. I'm done talking about him. If you want to know more, ask him yourself. You'll find him near that old camp in the giant sandbox.
He was a pretty strange guy, wasn't he? But if he's really the only merchant around like he says, then I guess you'll have to count on him for help. Unless, of course, you want to find out for yourself about that Ramon fellow. The buildings here are ancient structures from another age. I don't know whether to call this a town or a fortress, but it's definitely unique.
I'd say definitely criminal is closer. At least there's not much of a dress code, other than looking like a thief.
Where'd you come from? You're not one of those sneaks from the Order, are you?
Well, would it really matter if I were?
No. I'm not gonna tell you a thing either way, so you might as well move on.
Guess I should have known better than to ask some lowly grunt. You're no help to me. Where's the boss?
If you think you're gonna get to meet our boss, you'd better learn to ask nicely.
Did I hurt your feelings? Excuse me, but would you do me the great honor of showing me the way to your boss? Please.
I don't have no help to spare for strangers. Find the boss yourself.
So you're the new seed hunter, huh? The job isn't easy, let me tell you. I warned you. But, seeing you're out here in the land of outlaws and bandits, I'm guessing you can hold your own. Once you've got your hands on some soul seeds, track one of us down. We pay good money for them, don't you worry. And then we sell them to rich folks to make a huge profit. It's win-win. Looks like you had yourself a successful hunt. Nice job out there. Here you go.
Over sea and desert, stirring waves and sand.
It appears that you aren't one of those secutors from the Order. The secutors are the greatest rivals that this gang has. Not that either side is particularly close to getting the Holy Clavis anytime soon. They'll never get it if they can't get that door unsealed.
What's this? A tourist, eh? If you really want to get any of us to talk, you better go see Adonis first.
Don't you worry your little head. The bandits don't steal from my guests.
That kid just gives you the creeps. You know what I mean? He first came here to the desert with his folks.
What are you doing?
Nothing much, just gilling my sputs for haul to ear. Dutter do youing, wum-ass.
Hope, can you interpret this for me?
It seems to me like it's some kind of code or cipher, but I don't have enough data yet to break it.
Can't you speak normally?
Show nit. Of course I can. Look, I don't have any info about any treasure if that's what you're looking for. I've got no interest in it. Buffad to you.
Doesn't seem like many people choose to live out here unless they're after treasure. So, what's your story?
Meave be Lee. The world's going to end soon anyway, right? If that's the case, what's the point in having dreams or working hard?
So, sitting around waiting for the end was the best idea you could come up with. Nice way to spend your last days.
Well, yeah, it's boring, but nothing I do now makes any sort of difference anyway, so why bother? No matter how much I might unravel mysteries of the past, none of these bandits care. They don't even listen to my findings. Troen even nice to understand.
I get that it's hard to stay motivated when no one appreciates what you do.
I'd say so. If you get it, why are you giving me a hard time? Just leave me alone. I'm done with all of it. I ditched all my equipment in the desert. If you find any of my old things, they're yours. Take them away with you.
I think I may just do that. They deserve better than getting tossed aside by some sulking, spoiled kid.
Fake them 10.
It's a big desert, you know. Do you really expect to find his things out there in the middle of nowhere?
I'd better be able to. After running my mouth like that.
you think you're doing, blundering around here and interrupting my precious sleep? You lost or something?
Just looking for a story. I hear that you once had big dreams of striking it rich.
Whatever dreams I had have been lost under the sands.
Then why stay? Why stick it out in the desert?
I owe it to my wife. She's gone now, but the one thing she valued more than her own life is still out there in that desert. If I could just get it back, I'd be gone from here and never look back.
What could be so important?
Her arithmometer. Back when she was alive, back when we still had our shop, my wife was in charge of keeping the books. I never was good at numbers. But my wife, Monica, she lived by that arithmometer. We're gonna have great sales this month. Next month will be the one for us. Plugging numbers into that silly thing of hers. All with the most joyous smile you've ever seen. That smile of hers. That was my real treasure. And then one day those monsters stole my treasure away from me. Everything ended. My business, my life. I lost Monica and her smile. Now the only wares I have to sell to anyone are regret and despair.
I see. I'm sorry. Do you really think you'll be able to move on if you find your wife's memento, though?
Sure as the desert's dry. If I could just find that arithmometer for her, I'd be done with this place in a heartbeat.
Light, do you think that's the arithmometer Monica left behind? Why don't you go ahead and give it to him?
This is my wife's. I'd know it anywhere. The arithmometer that she so loved.
You've got your wife's memento back, so now you can leave the desert anytime you want. Isn't that right?
Like I've got any place else to go. Anyway, it would have been better if you'd just never found it. I want to say goodbye to the desert where my wife died. But I don't want to leave the desert where she lived. Don't you see? Now what am I supposed to do?
That's up to you. And if you can't figure it out yourself, well, then why don't you just think about what your wife would have wanted for you?
What Monica would have wanted is she always wanted me to make it out here as a merchant. Me and my shop. She wanted to help me achieve my dream of striking it rich.
I guess you have your answer. If you're going back into business, how about I be your first customer?
Yeah. I'd like that. After all, I owe you. You brought me back. You brought our dream back to life. Hey, thanks for stopping. Take care out there.
mess with swords.
This door seems to be locked from the inside. We're not getting in this way, that's for sure. Looks like the search is still on. Perhaps you'll be able to open this door from the inside once you find your way into the ruins.
Your funeral. You're down. Don't even try. You're down. I need more time. Time to mix it up. Keep up if you can. Let's make a show of it. Unfurl the wings of death. I'll bring back law lost time. With swords. It's just a fleeting dream.
This door seems to be locked from the inside. We're not getting in this way. Perhaps you'll be able to open this door from the inside once you find your way into the ruins.
This will be your last battle. Unfurl the wings of death. It's your funeral. You want to be saved? I'll take you to the unknown. Might as well. Your part is over.
I tried to analyze the door, but it's no good. I just can't seem to get any readings. There's some sort of irregular force field blocking my sensors. Light, I'm afraid I can't offer any more help right now. We can try again later, after we find some more clues. Such is fate. Let's make a show of it. Light, you have to stay out of trouble until you recuperate.
A little sandbird told me what you've been up to. You've been busy, haven't you? But is it true? Is old Ramon open for business again?
All I did was help him get back onto his feet.
Helping him at all is more than enough. The world's a pretty hard place to live in these days. You don't see a lot of people helping each other out. If there were more good eggs like you around, maybe this place wouldn't have ended up the ghost town that it is.
Someone's gotta be the first to start. Why not you?
What? Because I'm a ruthless, greedy salesman. I don't do a thing if there's no profit in it.
Are you sure? For someone who claims to be a ruthless salesman, you look pretty happy to hear about your rival's return.
That's ridiculous. He'll be out of business again in a week, I'll bet. If he does manage to cut it somehow, a competitor might help me stay on my toes. I'll say this, my wares and my service will both be better than ever.
I certainly hope so. Don't let me down now.
Take your time, take your... I do love to see a repeat customer.
Okay, next one.
So, what are you having? How about it? Feel better?
Dance with swords. salvation in the unseen realm. It's your funeral. Unfurl the wings of death. Ever dance with swords? Okay, gotta hang in. gonna be saved.
My victory was part of the act.
This is a branch of the famous Tobias's store. You do know Tobias. He is the preferred merchant of the Great Bandit Gang Monoculus. Out here in the desert, he's in a class of his own. Visit the main store!
Isn't this the kind of magnifying glass that appraisers use? It looks like it's pretty worn.
It does look rather old, but it seems like it's been taken good care of. Maybe this is the instrument that Elmer was talking about. The next time you stop by the bandit settlement,
This makes me powerful. Okay, gotta hang in. Time for this. It's your funeral. Another battle won. Can't hurt me. Ever dance with swords? I'll bring back lost time. I'll release your soul.
What is it? Don't tell me you actually found something.
Is this it? What you threw away?
How did you... Dad's loop?
Dad?
Never mind that. Just give it back to me. Now!
You want it back? Who was it that told me I was welcome to whatever I could find? I'm not sure I want to give it up.
Fine. I'll talk if I have to. My dad was a great bandit, okay? But he was also a great appraiser. He spent his whole life studying the relics in these ruins.
So he wanted you to follow in his footsteps?
No, it wasn't like that. Not at all. He taught me everything he knew so that I could become a scholar. He wanted me to be able to unravel the mysteries of the past. But then he disappeared. Never made it home. No one ever found any clue as to what happened. He left me, and took my only chance at becoming a scholar with him. Didn't have much choice. I could appraise or starve.
Is that why you threw away his tools? In order to spite your father?
It was stupid. I was stupid. I should have just done what my dad wanted and kept working to be a real scholar. But he's gone, and it's too late now. This world is nearly done for. But if I'm ever reborn, I promise I'll take things a bit more seriously. I'll give it my all. I'll study hard, and I'll become a great scholar and solve all kinds of mysteries. Or maybe that's too much to ask for.
You should dream big, and the first step to making your dream come true is believing it can come true.
If I want to make my dreams come true, I've got to be at least a better appraiser than my father was. I know that's what he would have wanted, too. If you find any treasures in the ruins or out in the desert, please, want me to appraise anything? Whoa, that's some great treasure you found. Good for you. Come back whenever you find any...